Good morning. We have been discussing about the operational managements, and under the operational managements, we already discussed the plant location and layout. Okay, so we have discussed the plant is a place where the suppose material, man, machine, equipment, or material, etc., are brought together for the manufacturing products. So yesterday we have seen the different factors which are affecting the plant locations, and we have also seen that some economical locational economics, and after that we have seen the rural versus urban plant science, and now we will discuss some selecting the plant site in a small towns. Okay, so we have to select the plant site in some selecting the plant site in a small town. Yesterday we have seen that when you select a plant site in a city, there are some advantages as well as the disadvantages. But when you select the plant site in a small towns, more or less we can say it is a rural area. The advantages of selecting the plant site in a small towns are what are the advantages? The plenty of land is available for building constructions. Okay, and therefore the expansion of the plant can be done easily. That is the one advantage. Means the plenty of land is available. Land is also very cheap. Okay, in case of the small town. Second advantage is that we have the unskilled labor is available. As this is a small towns where the unskilled labors are available, and that labor, once it is recruited, they can be trained for the operation in the industry. Okay, so that is unskilled labors are there, we can say. Next point, we can say there is a employee-employee relationships are goods. That is in the small town, because there are no unions problems is there in the small towns, and therefore we can say employee-employee relations are good. Employee employer employee-employee relationship are goods, because there are no unions in the small towns. Next advantage is that undesirable manufacturing neighbors are not likely to be present. Means as this is a small towns, and therefore uh, undesirable manufacturing neighbors which is adjoining to the existing industries are not likely to be present. Municipal and other regulations and taxes are they are not there, because it is a small town, and therefore the taxes are also very small in amount. Okay, so municipal and other regulation and taxes are seldom burdensome. Okay, taxes are less, we can say. And next is government gives inducement as it want to develop the undeveloped areas. Means government always gives the they encourage the employer to set up their plant in the small towns, so that they can develop that small towns into the good industrial zone. That is the reason, that is the advantage of the small towns. The government gives the inducement as it want to develop the undeveloped areas. So these are the some government promotes. So these are some disadvantages of setting up the plant in the small towns, but there are some disadvantages are also there for setting up the plant in the small towns. So what are the disadvantages? So the skilled labor is not available. That is one problem. And therefore we have to train them. Once you recruit them, recruit the laborers, we have to train them. We have to familiar them with the standard practice of the your organization, and then we can use these laborers for the working purpose. So railroad and air links may not be there as at all, or may not be adequate. So that is the transportation is problem, we can say. Transportation is problem because this is a small towns, and the power is also not available. Power is also one of the disadvantage because this is a small towns and the uninterrupted power supply is generally not maintained in such regions. So that is also the disadvantage of this. Next are the rural areas are far from the selling markets. Rural areas means market is not available in nearby vicinity. So that is also the problems of the small towns. Near to industry. Okay. Then hospitals and others educational amusement centers are also not available. That is also the problem. Hospitals, schools, and then educational means the schools are not available. So they obviously these facilities are not available there. So the skilled laborers or the skills managers and others professionals in the organization, they may not ready to ship to these small towns. These are the problems, these are the disadvantages. And apart from this, there are the high grade executives may not likely to live in the rural areas. So this is the uh, disadvantage of this setting up the plant in the small town. But alternative is always there between the urban and rural areas. We can choose the suburban site. So we have seen the urban as well as the rural areas, but the middle solutions we have to obtain here. We can select the suburban site. Suburban site for the plant location. You can select the suburban site for the plant locations, which being a compromise, we can say between the rural and urban areas. So it possesses the good points of both the urban and rural areas. Okay. So next is the plant layout. It is very important part of the operational management. So the plant layout means the disposition of various facilities. Facilities like there are different equipments are there, materials are there, then manpowers are there. Then we have to dispose the various facilities and services of the plant within the area of the site, which is selected for the plant. And the plant layout begins with the design of the factory building. So first we have to design the factory buildings where once you select the area for the plant, then We have to design of the factory is done. Therefore, first point is that we have to design the factory building and goes up to the location and the moment of the work table. All the facilities like, for example, equipments, raw materials, machineries, facilities are there, different facilities are there. We can say equipment, raw material, then there are the tools, fixtures are there, then there are workers, etc. are given a proper place. Everybody should have their proper place. So in deciding the place for suppose equipments, which place should be there in the plant for the equipment, which place should be there for the raw material and for the machinery, so that the operation can be done in a efficient way. Okay, so what are the objectives of the good plant layout? So once you select the plant locations, okay, objectives of good plant layout. So material handling and transportation is minimized. If it is a good plant, layout of the plant is very good, that means the material handling and the transportations of the materials is minimized. There is no need to transport the materials and the machineries. So we have to minimize this transportation and so that we can efficiently control all the activities. So that is the good, one of the good objectives of the good plant layout. Suppose one plant is we have installed and the plant design in such a way that suppose on the working space we require some materials, we require the machineries, and on daily basis we have to bring the machinery from the different locations, the raw material from the different locations. Then it is very time consuming process. We cannot work efficiently, and therefore most of the time we spend in the transportations and in the material handling. So that should not be the like that. So first objective is that the material handling and transportation is minimized and efficiently controlled. Okay, so that is material handling should be efficient way. Transportation is minimized. Okay, that is the one of the objectives of the good plant layout. Next is the bottlenecks and the point of conjunctions are eliminated so that the raw materials and the semi-finished good products move fast from one place to the another place. Okay, so bottleneck means there are some congestions are there on the workplace, and you reduce the bottlenecks and the point of consumption so that we can handle the material very efficiently from one place to the another place. So bottleneck and points of conjunctions are eliminated in the good plant layout, and that should be the one of the objectives of the good plant layout. Points of congestion are eliminated in case of the good plant layout. So that is one of the objectives. Next is the workstations are designed suitably and properly. Designed suitably and properly. Next is the movement made by the workers are minimized. Less movement of the work, less movement of the worker. Okay, so that they can focus more on the work instead of the moving from one place to the another place. Waiting time of the semi-finished product is minimized. Waiting period of semi-finished product is minimized. Working conditions are safer. Okay, as you design the plant very efficiently, therefore we can say that the working place is safer. It is a safer and better, and we can say improved for doing the work. Next is there is an increased flexibility for changes in the product design and the future expansions. So that should be the layout of the plant. Means we have the flexibility for changes in the plant design. Suppose we have in future, if you have to change your workplace, then there should be the flexibility for changes in the product design for the future expansion. So flexibility must be there. For changes in product design. Okay, so there are improved work methods and reduced production cycle times. Improved work methods means the what are the methods are followed in the good plant layout. That means the standard methods are followed, and therefore standard methods are always gives the better time for you know. हाँ, oh, ठीक है. So next point is the plant maintenance is simpler. As we have designed the plant efficiently, as and these are the one of the good objectives of the plant. So plant maintenance is simpler. Otherwise, the if the plant is not designed as per the efficient way, then we have to spend more money for the maintenance of the plant. And even the maintenance is not simpler. It requires the uh, it will become the costly job if the plant design is not as per the standard practice. So there is increased productivity and better product quality with reduced capital cost. That is also one of the objectives of the good plant layout. Means if the plant design is very good, everything is as per the standard practice, means raw material is easily available, semi-finished products are also easily available, and therefore productivity is increased. Ultimately, the productivity will increase, and the better quality products will be produced, and therefore this will reduce the capital cost of the organization. That is also one of the objectives of the good plant layout. So these are the some objectives of the good plant layout. Next are the principles of plant layout. What are the principles of the plant layout? Many principles of plant layout have been developed during the past years. Besides these ready-made principles, considerable art and skills is required in designing the good plant layout. Obviously, we should have the considerable art and skills. Skill for designing the plant layout, one must have the skill person, the art person, and therefore art and skill is required for designing of the good plant layout. The research work is being continued in order to develop the scientific approach for solving the plant layout problems. Sometimes we have heard the interior designs and outer exterior designs. So interior designs, they are the skilled persons. They come to your home and they just observe your homes, your halls, your bed rooms, and depending upon that, they design for your home. And this depends on the skills and art of that persons so that they can properly design your home. Similarly, the plant layout design is also, it is the skill. It required a tremendous skills and arts, and therefore the research is being carried out for developing some scientific approach for the plant layout, solving plant layout problems, and therefore there are some mathematical models are also used, computer aided solutions are also used, and there are some sound principles of the plant layout. So these principles are, first principle is the integration. So the integration of the production centers, there are the different production centers are there in the industry, and therefore the facilities, for example, like workers are there, machineries are there, raw materials are there. So we have to integrate all these production center facilities, and that is one of the principle of the plant layout, that is integration, and this is in a logical and balanced manner. Integration of all these facilities like workers, machineries, and raw materials, that is should be done in a logical and balanced manner. Next principle of the plant layout is the minimum movement and the material handling. So number of movements of the workers are there from one place to the another place. Material is also we have to transport from one place to the another place. But under the principle of plant layout, the moment is reduced. Moment of the workers as well as the materials is minimized, and therefore it is better to transport material in optimum bulk rather than in a small amount. Okay, in small amount we cannot transport from one place to the another place from as and when we required. Therefore that is not the optimum solution for the transportation. So always we should transport in a bulk amount rather than the small amount. That is the principle of the plant layout. Next is the smooth and the continuous flow. Smooth and continuous flow, the proper design of the plant layout is there, then we can have the smooth and the continuous flow. Means bottlenecks are the congestion points, they are removed by the proper line balancing techniques. And once the bottlenecks and congestion points are reduced, there will be, we can ensure the smooth and the continuous flow of the products, materials, and the machineries as well as the main in the manufacturing. Cubic space utilization. Next principle is the cubic space utilization. Besides using the floor space of a room, if the ceiling height is also utilized, more materials can be accommodated in the same room. That is, we can say the better utilization of the cubic space. Means we visit the very suppose the urban cities are there. For example, Mumbai. We if you visit the some places like for example Dharavi and other small slum areas, they use the we can see their better utilization of the space. Means they use the floor space in a room. The ceiling height is also used for living purpose. So in the same way, in the industry also, if the ceiling height is used, utilize more materials we can accommodate in a small room. Therefore, the boxes, for example, or the bags are there containing some raw materials. So we can stock one above the another to store more item in the same room, and therefore overhead material handling equipments save a lot of valuable floor space. So that is how this is the one of the principle of the plant layout. Next is the safe and improve environment. Safe and improved environment. Okay. So the name itself indicates something, means the workers where they are working, if that place is safe, then they can work properly, working efficiency can be improved. Working place should be always safe, it should be always well ventilated and free from dust. Noise should not be there. Okay, there should not be any chemical materials available in that room. So all this will improve the operating efficiency of the workers, and this will also improve their morals. All this will lead to the satisfaction among the workers, and the better employee relations will be there if the safe and improved environment is there. And the next is the flexibility. That is the last principle of the plant layout. One should be flexible. It is said in the automotive and other industries where models of products change after some time. Okay, so in automobile industry we say that the products are changed after some times, and therefore we it is better to permit all possible flexibility in the layout. Suppose we have to change the plant layout, then there should be the flexibility, because the product we manufacture in the organization may change with the time, and when you change the products we certainly need the uh, change in the plant layout, and that flexibility should be there. So machinery is arranged in such a way that the changes of the production process can be achieved at the least cost of disturbance. So that is the principle of the plant layout. Next we'll discuss the different types of the plants layout. First we'll discuss the process layout. So process layout is also known as the functional layout. Sometimes this is also known as the functional layout. And this is characterized by keeping the similar machine or similar operations at one location. In other words, uh, we can say in the process layout, all the lathe machines will be at one place. All the milling machines will be at the another place, and so on. Means one type of the machine will be at one place. That is in case of the process layout. All the milling machine will be in one place. So that is the design of the process layout. The machines have been arranged according to their functions. Means suppose one product is there, that product is we have to take from the storeroom, then we have to visit to the inspection department, then there is a broaching sections is there, then we have to go through the milling sections, then we have to go to the lathe sections, then after that there should be the shaper section, then drilling section may be used sometimes, and after that we have to keep that finished product in the stock rooms. So all these sections that should be arranged according to their functions. Means the first section should be storeroom. It is not like that the first section is the lathe machine, then there is the milling section, and then there is a storeroom, and then there is a stock room, and then there is a drill section. It is not like that. So all the sections they have to be arranged according to their function. So this type of the layout is generally employed for the industries engaged in a job order productions and a non-repetitive kind of the maintenance or manufacturing activities. So this type of the uh, process layout is generally like this. So this is a one for purpose. This is two section. This is three number. It is given. And this is four. It is five, 6, 7, and 8. So this is the process layout showing the product movement. This figure is the process layout showing the product movement, how the product is moved from one place to the another place. So first section is there, product is brought like this. Person visit to the, this is a storeroom. From the storeroom, he takes some raw materials and he goes to some may go to the lathe section for the operation over there. Then there are some and from this lathe section he goes to the this section, fourth section. What is this? This is the milling section. After milling sections, he may go to the broaching section, and from the broaching section, he goes to the shaper section. From the shaper sections, he goes to this drill section. From the drill section, it goes to the inspection department. And from the inspection department, it goes to the stock room. It goes to the stock room. So this is the type of the process layout. This shows how the product movement from one section to the another section. Here, the number one is the storeroom. Number two is here the inspection department. Number three is here broaching section. Number four is the milling section. Next is the lathe machine. And next is the shaper section. And number 7 is the drill section. And last is the stock room. So in this way, the product is moved from one section to the another section. So these are typically the process layout plant. We can say if such type of the plant is there, we can say it is a process layout plant. And this plant is having some advantages as well as some disadvantages. First advantage is that there is a wider flexibility. Wider flexibility means we can move from the storeroom to the inspection room, or from the storeroom to the lathe section, or from the lathe section to the shaper section, from the shaper section to the drill section, and like this. And finished product can be transported to the stock rooms. So there is a wider flexibility is there for the allotment of the work to the workers as well as to the equipments. Second advantage is the better utilization of the available equipments. Whatever the equipments are available there, available equipments, that is the better utilization of the. So optimum utilization of the equipment, we can say optimum utilization of the equipments. And next is the comparatively less number of the machineries are required, and the optimum use of the machineries are there. So less number of the machineries are required, less numbers of machines are required. So it will reduce the capital investment. Okay, better product quality. Because the supervisors, workers, they attend every section and they attend every machines and operation, so that the product which will be manufactured will have the better quality. Next is the variety of the jobs comings, as different jobs orders make the